welcome back to my channel if you're not new, and if you are new, simply welcome. I hope you like it here. I hope you stay. And this channel is all about what I eat on Ketovore, which is a higher fat, lower carb form of keto. So keto plus carnivore equals Ketovore. I have been vlogging for several years now. I started off vlogging about any and everything about my life. So I started off vlogging about just being a new mom. I also documented parts of my nursing school experience, my graduation. But more recently, in the past couple of months, I found my niche on YouTube, and that is my diet. I decided that I was going to focus this channel on that, on sharing about my diet, because I was very passionate about it and I enjoy sharing what I eat and why I eat it. But I never really made a video sharing anything about myself, anything personal, professional, or how I even got into this way of eating. So I thought that it was about time to make that video. So I'm not gonna get too personal, but just a little bit of basic information. My name is Reina Bueso, which was the name of this channel before I decided to focus it on my diet. I'm 28, going on 29. I have two beautiful children. I have a 3-year-old boy named Tiago, and I have a 6-month-old baby girl named Sofia. My husband's name is Freddie. He is from Honduras, and I am from Mexico. That's about as personal as I need to get. Some professional information, just because I have RN at the end of my name. So I am a registered nurse, but let me give you guys a little bit of the background of how I got there. Right after high school, I didn't know that I wanted to be a nurse. In fact, I didn't really know that I wanted to be in the medical field at all. But I was interested, and I've always just been really interested in learning about the body, the human body, anatomy, and how we work. Biology, basically. And so I went to medical assistant school. I thought that that was a good sort of entry point, get my foot in the door to see if I even like it. And once I graduated, my first job was at a dermatology clinic, and I loved it. I loved the medical field from the get-go. I loved the personal interaction that you get with patients. I loved everything from taking care of them to hearing their stories to seeing them get better, all of those things. When they do get better, unfortunately, that's not always the case. But it wasn't challenging enough for me, so that's why I decided to go back to school. That honestly could be a whole video on its own. My whole journey through school was a really long one. I just took the wrong path to my BSN, my Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. So it was a really long one, but essentially, in short, after I finally was able to submit my application to nursing school, to the nursing school that I could afford, and that was close enough and that was basically doable for me and my family, the program got shut down. And apparently there were several other schools in my area that also got shut down. So after having to jump so many hoops just to get to that point, and that happened, I decided that just nursing was never gonna happen for me. I really thought that I was just going to be a medical assistant for the rest of my life, and I made peace with that. And actually, after that, I found a really amazing job at a family practice. I was a medical assistant there for 9 months. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed my job. I got to see the full spectrum of diseases and, for all ages. I did that for 9 months, and then I was asked to co-manage the clinic. And I managed it. I also really loved that. It was even more challenging than just being a medical assistant, and I really enjoyed it. And then I got pregnant. I was going on maternity leave. Okay, this was close to 2 years later. I got an email from the director of the nursing school that I had applied to 2 years prior. She basically said, hey, the program has resumed. You should go ahead and submit your application. Basically guaranteed me a spot in the program. But she was reaching out because a lot of people didn't know that the program had resumed and they needed more students to apply. They needed more applicants. So I was so excited, but I was also going on maternity leave soon. I was about to have a baby, and so I was confused as to whether I was even going to want to go at that point, right? Because my plans were not to be at school as a new mom. It was just to be a mom and then maybe go back to work. So I made a very difficult decision to go back to school as a new mom. I think my baby was 4 months old. And so I went back to school. I documented parts of my nursing school experience. The most difficult thing by far that I have done. But I would do it all over again. I think it's 100% worth it. So that's basically it. Once I finished nursing school, I went straight back into being a stay-at-home mom. And this is where I feel like I am called right now. I think that this is more important right now for me, for my life, for my family, than going back to work. And I'm lucky and fortunate enough that I can do this, that I can stay home. So that is what I'm doing right now. I have never taken a job as a registered nurse, just as a medical assistant. So I do have experience in the medical field, seeing chronic diseases, heart disease, kidney disease, diabetes, hypertension, all the super common chronic diseases. But I have not taken a job as a registered nurse. So now on to how I got into this way of eating. I think like a lot of people, I started off just wanting, I think it started right after I became a mom, just wanting to learn more about what I was putting into my body and my kids' bodies. So I was looking more at ingredients, and I actually started off watching here on YouTube this channel called Flav City. He teaches you how to read ingredients, how to make sure that you're getting the cleanest, better quality foods that you can, why you should eat organic. He is basically a combination of paleo and keto, but still lots of greens, lots of pseudo foods, snacks, things like that. They're clean ingredients, but still. So I got a lot of really great information from that channel on how to read ingredient lists. Before that, I never even bothered to turn over the package of food that I was buying. But then YouTube's algorithm started pushing out Dr. Barry's videos. But honestly, it took like several times of me seeing Dr. Barry's face before I decided, okay, let me watch one of his videos. Because I think it was a really short one. That's why I got interested in watching it. I was like, well, I won't lose too much of my time. But it was because I think the titles just were like super inflammatory and almost like too good to be true, so to speak. Fat is good for you? And I was like, that's crazy. I think I saw that video come up of Dr. Barry's, and I was like, there's no way. Swipe, just keep swiping. Anyway, so that's how, once I finally opened up one of his videos and watched it, I was hooked. I was like, there's no way this guy is saying the truth, but I kept watching. I read some of the research articles and some of the studies that he put on the show notes of his videos. My life completely changed, and I'm sure that he has changed lots of people's lives. So that's how I got into it. Basically, so at that point I was in nursing school. I had very limited time. I was a new mom. But I immediately started to make changes. I got rid of the grains and just started making slow, gradual changes. I went from the dirty keto to cleaner keto-ish with some snacks. But then more recently, I actually just finished this in March. I did a 30-day Triple B&E challenge, and that shifted my diet from keto to Ketovore. And there's a big difference. A lot of people may not realize it's a big difference. It's much lower carb, much higher in meat, much higher in fat. So basically the only there's not any vegetable that I eat on a regular basis. In fact, I don't miss any vegetables at all. I've come to think of it, I don't miss any vegetables, but I do miss fruits. So avocados, I eat those quite frequently, and berries, I eat those quite frequently as well. But other than that, my diet and coffee, because that's not carnivore, but other than that, my diet consists of mainly fat and protein. If you listened this whole time, wow, thank you. You are amazing, really. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. All right, so now let's get on to some food. I know that's what you came here for. Okay, so let's talk dinner. For dinner, I'm gonna make this pork roast that I got at Aldi. I am gonna add all of those vegetables because Freddie is gonna eat them up. And the recipe in the back says to put it in the pressure cooker or a crock pot, but I'm actually going to put it on the stove in hopes that it will cook faster. Let's see how it does. So I'm also going to air fry some chicken wings. I don't have an air fryer, but our oven has an air fryer function. And I've only tried it out a couple of times and it's pretty good, but I didn't have an air frying pan. So I just had like the regular cookie sheets and things didn't cook through how they should probably in an air fryer. So I just got this one from Nordic Ware. It's supposed to be, you know, just for air frying in your oven. This is after about 21 minutes in the air fryer, and I think they look beautiful. The bag said 16 minutes, but I checked them after 16 minutes and they did not look as crispy as I like them. They smell amazing. And I'm gonna try them out with the new sauce that I got from Costco. Let me show you. This is it right here. It's keto certified, Whole30, I don't know. Oh, paleo certified apparently as well. The ingredients are not the best. They are not. Let me see. Water, cayenne pepper, distilled vinegar, olive oil, salt, tapioca starch, and xanthan gum. So they're not the best. I'm sure tapioca starch is some kind of thickener or something. But I think that the one that I used to use, which was Frank's, had seed oils, I think, in them. So this is better. Because the chicken wings turned out so good, like I used to have to flip them over in order for them to get cooked all the way at the bottom. And so the fact that I don't have to do that anymore is super great. I give this baking tray an 8 or a 9 out of 10, just because there's always room for improvement, right? Nothing's perfect, but yeah, I'm really happy with it. And the pot roast is on the stove. It's looking good. I'm going to just let it sit there for as long as I can until the meat is nice and tender. This is what the pot roast ended up looking like. It doesn't look fantastic, but the meat actually tastes pretty good. There's just too many vegetables for me. And I just seasoned it. It came with a seasoning packet, but I didn't use that. I just used some real salt and some taco seasoning. Diego just learned his lesson that it's hot. I haven't tried it. A little bit. Not a lot. Really good.